everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, today I have again the Hubsan Zino 2 and the Fimi X8 SE. This is the 2020 version. Again, I want to take a look at the video quality of these two drones. As you know, recently I had an issue with this guy right here with losing FPV. And the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that that it is truly corrected and that we keep FPV throughout the whole flight. I replaced the ribbon cable and put a high-speed SD card in, so hopefully that's the solution. And then the other thing I want to show you on the Fimi X8 SE, we've had some issues with the white balance on the video quality. When I put it on sunny day, it gets kind of a yellowish quality, a little bit too warm. When I put it on automatic, it changes the white balance throughout the flight, so you see it changing all the time, which isn't pleasing either. So it's a perfectly sunny day today. I am going to set this guy, I'm going to set the white balance on cloudy day so that it stays in one spot. And let's see how that looks. And we'll be in 4K 30 on both of them, because this guy will shoot in 4K 60. But we're not going to be doing any slow motion, so no point in anything other than 4K 30. I will put the Fimi in HDR mode. And yeah, let's just get them up in the air and try them out. Oh, one more thing I wanted to point out to you on this guy. I've noticed in the past on the Fimi, the timing of the video gets a little strange. In other words, I can sync it up with the screen recording on my phone, and throughout the video the timing gets off and you lose that synchronization. And the thing is, I know it's the video on the drone because with this camera I've got the Osmo Action today. Often I use my Canon M50. It will agree with the timing of my screen recording. So this one, it's something to do with the video on the drone. So we'll try and demonstrate that today. Okay, so we've got the Hubsan 2 app fired up. The drone's fired up, as is the controller. We're still in ADI mode looking for satellites, but let's go ahead and enter device. And we should get a status here. It always gives you that USB cable not connected at the beginning. Weak GPS signal, so let's let it get some satellites. Just 5. We did get on the UAV forecast that there weren't a lot of satellites here, but the status list, and this is something that Hubsan has done that I think is really good. It tells me that the compass, horizontal calibration, and gyro calibration are all good. So there we are, and then plus you can see the software versions, the firmware versions that we have there. So yeah, optical flow state's normal, time of flight is normal, SD card capacity is good, so we should be good to go. Looks like we are, it says ready to fly, so I see no reason why we can't take off. Let me switch to video. We will check video settings real quick. Yeah, we're in 4K. It always defaults to 60 frames per second. We're going to switch that back to 30. Hubsan, please, can you let us keep our defaults? White balance is on automatic. I'm going to put it on sunny day on this guy, as opposed to the Fimi that we're going to put on cloudy day. We're going to try that just because we haven't tried it before. So looks like we're good to go. We're going to start video now. And we're going to take off. We're going to use the takeoff button on the app. So there you can see that. Get a little bit of the Hubsan drop there. Not too bad. Looking pretty good for the Zino. I've seen it way worse. Pretty pleasant day today, you know, roughly 70 degrees. You can tell I have the yaw rate slowed down pretty good on this guy. Let's bring it in just a little. Not going to get too close, but we'll yaw it back and forth here. or excuse me, bank it back and forth. You guys can see that gimbal in action. Okay, let's do our usual manual droney. So reverse and up now. Drop the gimbal just a little so we get a good shot there. And we're not going to get too carried away on this flight. What we are looking for here is we are looking for a good, solid FPV connection. I just want to make sure that this drone is indeed corrected with the problem that we had on it recently. Let's go out to the other corner of the park here, and we'll point towards the Boise front there off in the distance with the wind. We had a big windstorm yesterday, and one of the benefits of that is that it blew out much of the smoke, so you're going to be able to see the horizon here pretty good in the mountains. So let's yaw around here and take a look. And off in the distance there, that is the Boise foothills, and at the top of that is Schaefer Butte, and up there is the Bogus Basin Ski Resort. So looking good. Nice flat horizon. Hubsan has always done a really good job with that. So at this point, let's just take a little flight here and see what there is to see. I'm going to get pointed directly towards the drone here. Okay, we're going to turn it around. There's the parking lot that I'm in, and let's run across the street there and see if they're still doing some harvesting in that field. And I'm still trying to figure out what exactly it is that they're growing over there. Looks like they've harvested some of it. And I need to get the controller pointed towards the drone. Let's get ourselves in a situation here that we can take a look at traffic and make sure that we got a clear spot to get across. I'm going to slip it into sport mode so that we can get with the program when we got a clear spot here. Still got cars coming. Drop the camera here just a little. Boy, looks like the light must have changed because there's plenty. Okay, I think we got it after this one. We are full stick forward in sport mode, and this guy will haul the mail. Up to about 19.1 meters per second. 19 meters per second is about roughly in the mid 40s miles per hour wise. This drone has just a good solid connection. We're not going to go too far here. That is a park. I believe that park over there belongs to the subdivision. Whoops, sorry for that quick yaw. I forgot I was in sport mode. That park belongs to the subdivision, so we're not going to go over the top of that. I'm going to get us back into normal mode here, and we'll look around here a little bit. I saw a little bit of breakup on FPV there, which is unusual for this guy. It's typically pretty good. So we're going to go over the top of the other field here. And oh gosh, I should have picked that gimbal back up a little. You can see the construction. Look, there's another new development going in over there. Man, I'm telling you. Let's pick up some altitude here so that we keep a good connection. I'm seeing a little bit of modeling on my screen here. And we're out there about 900 meters. We're not going to cross that road. We're gonna go right to the corner. We'll go a full kilometer. There we are. So that's good enough. Lots of construction there. You can see that there's just so much development going on. Okay, let's yaw this guy around. And we'll face towards the, yeah, we're getting a little bit of break up on the screen. Yeah, on the FPV. Okay, so let's just go sideways here. That's that mega Walmart over there. Let's pick up some more altitude here. That'll help our signal a little bit as we get closer. And you can see where we're at there in the park. And I hear an aircraft off in the distance, so I'm going to drop this baby down. We're going to get low enough that we know no matter where that guy's at, it's not an issue, although I see him, he's way up there. We'll get down about 60 meters here, and we know we're good. Aircraft is actually behind me. Okay, so we are going to go into sport mode here again, and it looks like we got a good clear spot to go here, so full stick forward here. We're going to get across this. Pardon the quick yaw there, go across the pond. It's tough to get that yaw smooth when you're in sport mode. We'll get ahead of the mower here. So we've had it up in the air for about 8 minutes, and so far just solid. So I am pleased with this guy. Let's take a look over on the other side over here. So what you're looking at there is we can get a little bit closer. We're not gonna go across there. There's just too much activity there now. You know, earlier in the construction phase, I think it was safe for us to fly over the top of that, but I'm not comfortable doing that now. But you know, just kind of give you a shot, look at the construction phase here. And I'm kind of noticing something here. My hands are completely off of the sticks, and the drone is yawing a little bit to the left, which is kind of interesting. I will say this, I was not facing towards the drone, so let's straighten it out a little bit. And let's go back into normal mode. I just used sport mode there to kind of get across the field. But so it looks to me like, so that's our new Costco, and in the on the right hand side there, that looks like where the fuel pumps are going to be. So looking forward to getting that opened up. It'll be a little easier access for where I live, where my wife and I live. And then I'm going to kind of point the drone. We're not going to fly over it, but if you look off to the other, it's about the middle of the screen now. I'm going to pick up the gimbal just a tad. That green spot there, that's another one of the Meridian City Parks. Obviously not as big as this one, so I don't fly there, but it might be a spot that we could take off sometime, and we could be up over that open field and kind of get a better look at the construction site. So we may do that one of these days. But in the meantime, we were only down to 60% battery. We've been videoing for 10 minutes. Let's come back and I think let's just demonstrate one of the intelligent flight modes that this guy will do. So one of the things that I always thought was cool about this drone was the was the line fly mode. So let's see if we can do that. Let's get it right out in the middle of the field here. I'm going to go kind of to the edge of the park. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the little X in the top left-hand corner there. And we are going to go down. There's line fly right there. So what we have to do is select our angle. And I'm thinking we can preview it, but I'm thinking to go left. I think I need to be at 90 degrees. So we'll slide that up to 90. As close as we can get it. It's hard. There we go. Look at that. We got it. And distance, let's go. Oh, that's way too far. I was going to say 300 meters, and that even may be more than we want. So that's a very fine adjustment. 301. Relative height. So I think that will determine if it goes higher than what it is. So I'm going to leave that at 0. Speed, we are going to put the speed, let's go pretty quickly. Let's put it at about 5 meters per second. And then we can preview the flight route here. Yeah, and that's the wrong way. So I should have done 180. So we're going to re-edit. And it looks like I'm too far too. So distance, we're going to bring that back down to about, well, 227 is going to do there. And then let's move this up to 270. Should take us the other direction. That's going to be good enough. Preview flight route, yeah. And so you can see I don't have the drone exactly straight, but that'll keep it within the confines of the park here. We are going to execute immediately. And the line fly has started. And I always get messed up here on how I get back to looking at the live feed here. So we're going to try. There we go. There's the live feed. So you can see what we're doing there, and that's just where that would come in handy. Is then you could then focus on the camera, on which direction you have the camera pointed, etc., how you have it yawed, and that's where that is handy. And you know, I'm sure typically you'd probably set it a little bit slower than this. That kind of gives you an idea how to do that. You know, that's keeping that way you're focusing on what you're videoing or photographing rather than having to fly the drone at the same time. Okay, so let's go back into mode there. It ended that. Let's do a panoramic photo. I haven't done that one in a while. So you got to stop recording before you do that. So we're going to do that. We're going to stop recording. And we're going to go in there and we're going to go panorama. So this guy, so you can decide, you know, what kind of a picture you want. Let's do a 180 here. Okay, so let's go up here and let's change our video resolution to 1080p. Maybe, and they're saying 30 frames per second, which it is. So we went out and did that. So now let's go back into that mode. And maybe it'll do it now. Maybe I had to switch to video mode for it to do it. Yeah, look at that. There it is. So basically what it's doing is it's using clearly it's using screenshots from video. So it's not really taking a picture. That's how they're achieving that. That's why it does that. So you got to remember before you go in there, you have to switch your video to 1080p. That's fascinating stuff, huh? And then we're watching it take the picture here. Good to know. Learn something new all the time. Okay, well, since we're already in this mode, let's try another one. And I don't know if it'll stitch them together or if you have to stitch it together post-production. Got no clue, guys. I haven't done that with this drone before. So so let's do, that was a 180. Let's do a horizontal and see. Yeah, it just takes 4 pictures this time. So we'll try a vertical as well. Got to try something new once in a while. Like I said, what I'm wondering now is if it will automatically stitch them together or if that's something you have to do manually. Okay, we're going to go back in there again. And this time we are going to do a vertical. And yeah, it's telling us battery level is at 30%. That's okay. So after we're done with this, we'll just we'll bring it in and we'll let it do an auto landing here. And we'll take a look at those. I'll post those pictures and we'll see how they go. Okay, so I am going to switch back into video mode here. And we're going to go in and we're going to change our video resolution back to 4K. It's still on 30 frames per second. That's good. So we're good to go there. We're going to start video. And let's just hit return to home. We're going to do it right here on the controller. And one of the things you have to do with this guy is you have to shut off video before it begins to land, and it uses the video camera to look for the landing pad. So as soon as it gets over the top of us here, we'll shut down video and see what happens. So I learned something there on Panorama. So remember, on the Zino 2, before you try and shoot a panorama shot, you switch the video mode into 1080p 30 frames per second. But the other thing, kind of disappointingly, that tells me is that it's basically using screenshots to do it. Okay, I'm shutting off video. So it's basically video screenshots that it's using to do those panoramas. But anyway, let's see how well this guy does. We're down to 24% battery. It should drop the camera here before it lands. It's looking. Grass is pretty short, so we'll just let it land no matter what. Yeah, it does. It's not seeing it. Yeah, it's not going to get it. Because the apron is not found, so it's going to land in the grass here. And we mowed a little bit of grass, but not too bad. Okay, let me pick this one up, shut it down, and we'll get the Fimi X8 SE in the air. Okay, we've got the Fimi Navi 2020 app fired up here, and it's still connecting, so give it a second here. And we'll take a look at the status on this one. Suggest to format unrecognized SD card, so let's go, let's do that. So format, the SD card is formatted, so it looks like we're good to go there. Ready to go GPS, but let's take a look at the drone status. Telling us compass is normal, GPS is normal, IMU is normal, battery is normal, gimbal is normal, so looks like we're good to go. Let's go in and do those camera settings like we talked about. We want to, excuse me, I'll get there sooner or later. One of the things about this guy is you always have to switch the video quality to high every time. I don't know why it defaults to medium, it just does. And we're already in 4K 30. White balance, we were on auto. We're going to set it to cloudy day this time, and let's see how that looks as opposed to, well, let's just look at them on FPV here. So as we change that that white balance, so if we go sunny day, it does look a little brighter, doesn't it? Then cloudy. Yeah, it's a little more yellowish. Gosh, I don't know. So do we try one of these other ones? There we go. That might be good. Okay, I'm going to try fluorescent. I like how that looks. Looks like the colors are, I think that's the one we need. There's the key right there. So let's leave it on fluorescent. And let's see, we want to go into HDR. I almost forgot to do that. So we're in HDR. And I guess we got 17 satellites. I can't think of any reason why we shouldn't take off. Let's start recording now. So it's recording. Let me get out of the way so you can see it here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit takeoff right here on the controller. And by the way, I did spread the props on this guy before taking off, and it rises to about 4 meters in height when it takes off. It moved a little bit to the drone's right, so not, you know, that's, I guess we got a little bit of a wind blowing. That's probably that. But okay, let's bring it back down here a little bit, and we'll yaw it around so that we can take a look at this guy. Let's drag it back and forth here, and you can see that gimbal in action. Works real well. So we're going to move a little bit to the left. The drone is sinking just a little. I am going to wait just a second for this mower to go by, and then we're going to do our manual droney. I touched something there, I don't know what. Looks like we're looking good. Okay, reversing up now. Drop that gimbal down a little. And let's get a little more altitude here. Horizon looks good. That's one of the things that I've noticed about this drone is that the horizon can be crooked sometimes, but the last several flights it's been great that I've seen anyway. So let's kind of straighten it out here with the park, and let's kind of just move sideways here across the park. And this is in normal mode, and look at it, it's up to 16 meters per second. That's pretty darn good, I'd say. Man, I'll tell you what. Okay, let's just do a lap here. We're going to go forward. And now to the right. Now I saw there that I got just a little, yeah, I can see the horizon's just a little bit crooked now. But you know, we were moving sideways there, so I'm almost willing to forgive that a little. It's right over the top of us. Oh, evidently I changed the EV here. That's what I changed when I heard that beep. Let me put that back to 0. Evidently I touched the wheel, so anything you see weird in the exposure value, and we definitely, after moving sideways there, we definitely have a crooked horizon. So let me jag back and forth here and see if we can straighten that out. Sometimes yawing back and forth and even just banking back and forth will straighten out the horizon, but doesn't seem to be having much luck in this case. Okay, let's do the same thing that we did with the other one. It looks like we got a good clear spot here to get across, so we better take advantage of it. Get behind that last car. Okay, so we're in the field there, and we'll kind of I'm not going to try and duplicate exactly, but we'll kind of do a similar path to what we did with the Zino. And I got the gimbal a little high here, so let's drop that down just a tad. And again, you know, the horizon is just a little crooked, and that's from when we were flying it sideways. It started out straight there, and we're getting some breakup on FPV. I'm going to grab some altitude. Yep, I'll be darned. This is the first time I've lost a control signal with this guy in it, and it put it into return to home. So it's coming back, and we were not very far away. We were, gosh, about 450 meters away. That is the first time I've ever had that kind of an issue with this drone. But here it comes, so we're good to go. Now I will say, you know, again, I am underneath this picnic shelter. It's got a metal roof on it, etc. So that could be an issue, but we didn't have that problem with the with the Zino. Okay, so I'm going to stop the return to home here, and we're going to try that again. I'm going to move out further into the field here to where I know I have a clear signal to the drone, and we're going to try that again. So I'm completely out from under the picnic shelter, and we're facing the drone completely. And I'm going to throw it into sport mode here so we can get a little speed to do this. Maybe. Yep, sport mode is on. Okay. And let's go. Full stick forward. And we're really not going much faster than we were in normal mode. About 15-16 meters per second. We got a little bit of a breeze, but not that much. Yeah, and you know what? We're further out than, well, maybe not quite. But yeah, see, we're further out than we were before, and the signal is fine. So I'm going to chalk that one up to we were underneath the metal shelter there. So let's look this way. So this will really tell us here. We'll go out to the corner of this far field here. This is the one we went out over with the Zino, and boy, look at our cricket horizon. That is so disappointing. And I understand I was flying the drone sideways there for a while, but there's just, Fimi, there's just no excuse for that. You just, you know, if you're going to play in this level, and look, boy, we had our signal in the red there for a second, but we are out about 700 meters. Huh, yeah, then we lost it again. And yeah, so it threw it into return to home. That's interesting. I'll tell you. We'll just let it come back here. I have never had this kind of a connection problem with the Fimi. Really interesting. And we're down to about 56% battery. We've been in the air about 7.5 minutes, or yeah, since we started recording. Looks like we got a good clear spot for it to get across the road here. It's got a good straight line, so we'll let it go here. So just like with the like we did with the Zino, maybe we'll try a couple of the other flight modes. Man, look at how crooked that horizon is. Man, that's just a mess. That's crazy. And I tried to straighten it out here, and it just didn't do it. Okay, we're going to stop the fail-safe return, and we are still in sport mode. I see, it looks like the horizon is kind of straightening out here a little bit. So let's go back out to the corner here, and we'll get a look just like we did with the Zino. We'll get a look at the Boise front here in Bogus Basin. I'm going to take it out of sport mode because that just makes everything react just a little too fast. So we're back in normal mode now. We do still have a crooked horizon, so, but there is the Boise front. Let's pick up a little, maybe a little altitude here. Get up to 100 meters or so. You can get a look at that. Okay, that's probably good. All right, gosh, let's go into intelligent flight modes here, and let's kind of mess around and see what we want to do. And that looks like the horizon's kind of relaxed here a little bit. Okay, I'm going to click on the little icon at the top there and tap fly. It's been a while since I've used that, so we're going to go back into the tap fly. So tap fly should just set. Let me try this. Okay, there we go. I just didn't go far enough. So I'm going to back the drone up just a little bit. And we are going to move to one side just a little bit, and we're going to see if we can go sideways, kind of across the park, much like we did with the Zino. Same thing. Try the same thing we did with line fly on the Zino. So I'm going to choose the destination and click next. And let's go about 5 meters per second, I think is what we did on the Zino, and we're going to click go, and it's flying directly towards it, so it did not hold the direction that we had the drone pointed, so it turned towards the spot on the map that we picked. I'm just telling you guys, I think in all the time that I've flown the Fimis, I've done waypoint missions several times, but I don't think I've ever done line fly. Or tap fly, excuse me. Line fly is on the Zino. So it's kind of funny. Look at that, we're having control issues. Of course I was facing away from it, but still, man. We were losing connection there, which is really odd because the drone is really close to us. I don't know if it's potentially if it's Wi-Fi interference or what. Okay, so it's reached its goal here, so it completed it. I wonder if there's a way to do that with a point of interest. If set point of interest, the heading will be locked. So I wonder how. Let's see if we can. Well, I don't know how to do that. Tap to choose the destination. So whatever your destination, they must mean, that's what they mean by point of interest. So let's bring it back over to where we're at here. So I'm going to bring it in front of us, and let's speed that baby right up. Click go, and it should come right back to us here. And we're up pretty high. Normally I don't fly that high above the park here. There again, I'm looking at that horizon. It's kind of crooked. And we're there. Okay, let's bring the drone down and let's try something else. You know, I'm trying to remember if this guy has got panorama shots in it. I remember it intended to. Yeah, it's not in any of these modes. I think you do it in photo mode. We're down to 31% battery. Well, let's try it real quick. I'm going to stop recording, and we're going to go into, whoops, excuse me, going to go into photo mode. Let's go into photo mode, single, panorama, available after takeoff. Need to go to the album to synthesize after, so yeah, okay. I'd say let's hit it. So it's taking a panorama right now. I've never done that with this drone. See, something new. And this looks like it's actually taking pictures. So it looks like you have to put them together in the album. So we'll try that when we bring it back down. Looks like it's going to do a full 360. And it appears to be done. Okay, so we are going to switch to video again and start video. And I'm going to flip it into return to home on the controller here. And here it comes. And the thing about this guy is, I'll move the camera here again. You don't have to turn off video for it to find the landing pad. And I found that this guy tends to do a pretty good job. We're down to 25% battery. Landing pad not detected, but it'll tell us here in a second. It'll drop the camera down here to take a look, I believe. Or no, it uses the bottom-facing camera. I'm sorry. This guy uses the bottom-facing optical flow camera. Let's let it surprise us. This grass is short enough. I was going to drop the gimbal down, but you know what? In its way, I can tell you it's way off. It's slowing down. But yeah, it's not even close. This guy in the past, I'm going to make sure we're pointed out of here so you guys see it. So it's going to mow a little grass. I mean, it's a good... It's a good 12 feet or so off of the pads. So yeah, it wasn't even close this time. One of the cool things about this drone is it does stop recording once it lands. That way you don't lose or corrupt a video file. So let me get everything shut down and we'll go from there. Okay, wow, what a great day to fly today. Almost perfect weather, you know, weather in the 70s. We were supposed to have wind this afternoon. Really, there's virtually no wind, so it's was just a beautiful day to fly. The smoke kind of cleared out. I wish I'd have had the opportunity to maybe go someplace a little more scenic, but wanted to get these two up in the air. So the Zino 2, I think, is the star of the show today. It performed flawlessly. The FPV was perfect on it. Again, the issue that I had previously where I lost FPV, I replaced the ribbon cable, and then I had another problem. It said the SD card wasn't fast enough, so I put a SanDisk Extreme Pro that writes at 90 megabits per second, and that seems to have cured the issue. So that kind of makes me kind of like this guy again a little bit more. So I had fun with it today. Plus it's a fast, really quick drone, so it worked good. Now the Fimi today, I'm anxious to see what the video looks like. We tried the white balance on fluorescent. Now just on FPV it looked like a improvement, but I won't know till I look at the video on the SD card. You guys will know before I say this, so we'll see what that looks like. And with both of them we tried some things that I'd never tried before. That was Panorama with both of them. Now this one, it did stitch us together, and it was kind of clunky, but I will say it did work. So if you follow the instructions, it worked. So it was pretty cool. This guy, I'm not sure if I'll have to manually stitch them together or if I can do it in the app. I don't know. I'll find out. And then the other issue with the Fimi was, again, gosh, I thought it was past that because my last couple of flights were pretty good, but crooked horizon. And it started when I put it in that tap fly mode, or no, I was just manually flying it sideways and had problems. So we tried tap fly with this guy. Speaking of tap fly, I I don't recall ever doing that before, but think of tap fly as just a single waypoint. As opposed to line fly on this guy, I kind of like the line fly on the Zino because you can set more parameters on it. You can tell the drone which way you want it to point, etc., while it's on its track. This guy points to wherever you set that next point of interest at or spot on the map. But they both work, and there's advantages to doing that. It allows you to focus on the camera rather than flying the drone. Then the Fimi, again, we had some connection issues, which was just really odd to me. It's the first time I've ran into any connection issues with this guy. We took it out over in the field across the street, and yeah, we lost connection a couple of different times. Don't know what to say, and you could see it on the signal bars on the screen. And you've seen me fly this out at the Snake River Canyon and out at Lucky Peak Reservoir without a hint of a problem. I don't know how far it would have gone, you know, but certainly I can tell you here, and it was more of an urban environment, although we were over a field and we were up there pretty high, but it just didn't work as well. And so I don't know what that's about. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's about it. Again, I wanted to point out to you, we'll see, and you'll see the video. I will sync up the screen recording and the video that we get off of the Osmo Action here, and you will see a difference in the video speed with the Fimi. Because I've noticed it before when I've editing it, I'll sync up the video at first and I get part way through and it gets out of sync. So we'll see if we see that today. And then I guess moreover too, we want to compare the video quality of the two. This was kind of a good day to do it because the sun is high in the sky direct overhead, so we weren't necessarily flying into the sun or away from the sun everywhere. So you'll really be able to get a look at the video quality. In theory, because this guy's an HDR, it should look a little better, although the Hubsan Zino, as long as it's not flying directly into the sun, my experience is the video looks pretty darn good. So we'll be able to compare them and see. So gosh, I guess that's about it. I was really itching. It's been a few days since I got to fly, so I was really itching to get something up, and I've had these I've had the batteries charged on these drones for a few days, so it was good to get a drone in the air. So anyway, this is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time today to look at this video. And yeah, we absolutely will see you on the next one. The Fimi X8 SE 2020 version and the Hubsan Zino 2. See you guys later.